Greetings. Ene Kusiada Kwashida. Today is Sunday. Welcome to my podcast. Today we're going to talk about the importance of our African, local, or indigenous languages. Why our language is part of our identity and why we should be patriotic. As we are patriotic about our roots, we should be patriotic about our language. We should fall in love with it, speaking our local dialects. Now, before I start this podcast, I want to play a song in my native Ahanta language. So, for people who don't know this, you all know that I'm a Ghanaian Leonean. My mom is 100% Ghanaian. My mom is Achim and Kwewu. So, my mom is Achim my mom is Achim. My mom is also part Kwewu. So, Kwewu from Abitifi. And Achim from Kotoku. And on my mom's side, I come from the family clan Ebusia. Toa me boy Asini Ebusia. And then on my dad's side, I have a mixture of Ghana and Sierra Leone. So my dad Ghana side has a mixture of Ahanta and Wasa. So Ahanta we are from Buzia, and then Wasa we from Wasa Menfi. And on my father's side of the family, we come from a family clan known as Agona. So we are from Agona Ebusia on my dad's side. So if you guys know as Akote Brofo. So yes, my dad's side of the family is Agona and my mom's side of the family is Asinie. So all of you guys know this. And so I would say that yes, me a Kaini Mapa, and then I also have a mixture of Sierra Leone, Limba in northern Sierra Leone. So yeah, before I start this podcast, I want to introduce myself in different dialects. Akwaba. Me mamuni na Akwaba. Ya frame Midindi and as ya frame Reggie Kwabena Deschamps Mills. Ekaro Ekali Orukunimi Reggie Kwabena Deschamps Mills. Obake Achomi Reggie Kwabena Deschamps Mills. Miawizolo. Inkunyenye Reggie Kwabena Deschamps Mills. Yeah. So and then Jambo Memedi Reggie Kwabena Deschamps Mills. Nakura Nina Fura Kutara na wewe and Mbote Mbote Sangonini. Yeah. Saubona. Yeah. Welcome to my podcast. And then yes. So people ask how many languages you speak. So I grew up mostly in Ghana, so I can speak Twi, very fluent in Twi. I speak a little bit of Ghana because I grew up in Ghana's capital, Accra. Efe, I'm not that fluent in Efe. But did I live in Volta region before? I've never lived in Volta region before, but in Ghana, you had a household that you had different tribes in there. We had the Efes, we had the Gan, we have Hausa, we have the Dagombes and all those stuff. So yeah, I was exposed to different culture based in the household we live in Accra. And also, yeah. So yes, and for my northern Ghanaian people, that's Suba to you all. So I'm going to play this music video and then I'm going to talk about the importance of our African, local, or indigenous languages. Now, people should understand this message is not based on supremacy issue, but I want to tell you that it is beautiful if we embrace our identity, our language. Because if you look at the Chinese, the Japanese, the Korean, even look at a British person is not going to speak another European person's language. He's going to speak English. A British will speak English. France take pride in speaking French. The Germans take pride in speaking German. The Portuguese will never speak English. We will find pride in speaking Portuguese. Why can't we Africans also speak our own language? So I'm going to play this music and then we're going to dive into the topic. One love. So please, I'm gonna play this another song and then I dive into the topic. I can't play every African tribal music here because it's gonna be very long, and I have stuff to do. Today's Sunday too, so I have a lot of stuff to do. So I'm gonna play one indigenous African music. So let me give you something beautiful, okay? Something beautiful you guys are gonna like. Okay, hold on. So so if you need the song to if you need this song, let me know. I'll share the links with you guys, because this thing I cannot put the video out there because of copyrights. I can attach it to the screen because of copyrights. So understand, okay? And then you go the other side. Cha no man yaba. Cha no man yablau. It's your way warden. Respect to you all. This is so beautiful. Africa, our culture. Africa, our pride. Africa is who we are, and we are proud to be Africans. I hope I brighten up your Sunday morning. So let's get into a topic. Listen, we have an amazing culture, amazing, identity as people of color, melanated people. one thing about culture is so beautiful, and at the same time too, every culture in the world has positive and negative side, but the African doesn't understand the language to embrace the beauty. Beauty means embracing the positive side of our culture. Why do you always want to focus on the negative side? I don't get that aspect when it comes with it as Africans. Okay, so you're all welcome. Ekabo. You're all welcome to this beautiful channel. This is Africa. I call this a hub of Africans reuniting. But listen, slowly and steady, we are building an African community here. And I know not only Ghanaians are watching me here, we have a lot of African people, we have Congolese and different African people who are watching here, and including we have African diaspora, Jamaicans and the rest watching this channel, those from Barbados, you know, amazing melanated folks watching this channel. But first and foremost, my first ever gratitude goes to the one who created the heavens and earth and everything that has life in it. In our local indigenous language, in English we call him God, but in our African Douglas, we have names. So among my people in Ghana, which is in Ghana, I come from the ethnic group or tribe known as the Akan. In Akan, we have names attributed to the creator. We have Onyame Batampa, Onyame Kokuruko, Totorobonsu, Amoria, Amonsio, Kasaprekon, Otumfo Nyame. We have many Nyame Kese. We have many names attributed to the creator. And then in Ghana, we have Atana Nyumo. We are and then we have a lot in the airway we said Mauso Bodisa, and then in the northern Ghana language among the Moli Dagbanis we call him Nawuni, and then when you go to our East African brothers and sisters area we call him Ngai Wewini Mungu, and then in Southern Africa we call him Modimo, and other African language you have name, and among the Banyankoli people in Uganda, they call him Ruhanga. So we have many names attributed to the creator. And then in indigenous Fulani language, his name, the creator is known as Geno. So people, yeah, the Yoruba call him Olodumare. The Igbo call him Chuku. Many names that have attribute of God's supremacy. We have Ezi. You know, talks about the lordship and his kinship. Okay, now let us go to details about. So again, you're all welcome, and greetings to you all. Indewo, Kedu, greetings to you all. You're all welcome to this lovely channel. Let us unite, one Africa. Even though I am a Ghanaian, Sierra Leonean, I believe in African unity, Africans coming one together, you know. And the thing is, for me per se, it's good to represent where you come from. But at the same time too, I believe in African diversity. So whenever I do my content, I try to blend in different African, you know, languages. That's why, so you can experience the vibe of Africa being united through the way through my presentation in video. So that's why sometimes I emphasize on speaking an African word, so that you guys will understand that, okay, this guy is not all about the talk. He's giving us, you know, that vibe. All right, so let's go into details. The importance of our African indigenous language. As I said, and this is not about supremacy, this is about being who we are. As I said, the British is very proud of his English language. Now, to shock you that an African spend his hours and time investing to speak want to speak good English, just like the English person. An African spend his time and energy, want to speak good French, like the French. An African wastes his good time, want to speak fluent Germany and be like a German. But an African cannot spend time and hours learning his own indigenous language, and at the same time to learning other African nations' languages. That's a problem. It will shock you that a whole Choma, a whole Inke Chuku cannot speak Igbo even though he was bred in the Igbo land, you know, be around Igbo people, but he cannot speak his own dialect. What a shame. A whole Yoruba boy, you know, cannot speak Yoruba language. A whole Fumilayo cannot speak a Yoruba language. A whole Shegun cannot speak Yoruba. A whole Yoruba boy, a Yoruba girl. It's shameful. Tahiru, a whole Hausa boy cannot speak Hausa. And it is a Ghanaian and Nakan boy, a whole Nanapia, you know, a whole Kwame Amponsa, a whole Gan boy, Niama cannot speak Gan, and a whole Ever boy, a whole Ever boy, Kobla Amegashi cannot speak his own Eviao language. What a shame. And if you have not been in your country of origin and you cannot speak the language, I won't say that's a good excuse, but at least why don't you, you know, be around people who speak your language? If you're in the African continent, I don't see the reason why you cannot speak your language. But at the same time too, if you're in the Western world too, I'll come to that subject. Now, African parents in the Western world, in the diaspora, need to do better. As I said, it's not that I'm looking down on you, but I'm telling you the gospel truth. A Chinese who gave birth to a child in China is speaking Chinese. A Chinese who gave birth to their child in Japan, a Chinese person who gave birth to their Chinese child in the Western world teaches them Chinese, and a Japanese who gave birth to his child in the Western world speak Japanese. Same one with the Korean, the Cambodians, and the rest, the Filipinos. But the Africans, come on, the Africans, they don't do that. They will rather learn a foreign language and push a foreign language, telling their children to learn foreign language, because they think speaking foreign language means is the greatest achievement, you know, you're on top of the world, which is delusional. Now I'm going to quote this verse in the Holy Scripture. Exodus 20, verse 12. It says, honor your father and mother, that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God has given you. So, Africans, what does this say to you? Honor your father and mother. Okay? That your days on earth shall be long in the land the Lord your God has given you. And what land of the Lord our God have given us is Africa. Africans, honor your mother and father. It is not like the mother who gave birth to you or your father who gave birth to you only. It is people many generations before you, your grandmother, your great-grandfather. Honor them. When I said honor them, it doesn't explicitly means worship them. Okay? Honoring, so listen, there's difference between honoring and worshiping somebody. There's difference between worshiping and honoring somebody. Honoring is like a form of tribute, giving, you know, their flowers, like showing reverence, respect you have for them. Okay? And worship is a whole totally different thing. Okay, but let's get into this. The reason why we are not living long in the land that's the Most High have given us Africans is you don't know your identity, you don't know your roots, you don't know your language, you don't know what makes you who you are. So how can you live long in the land your God have given you? You can never live long in that land because a colonizer or a foreigner wants dominance. Now, I'll tell you this. We have a new form of oppression, China oppression. Now, Chinese want to overtake Africa, and Chinese want you to learn Chinese language. It's a shame in the whole Ghana education curriculum. They are teaching children how to speak. They're emphasizing that speak French, speak Arabic, speak Chinese. Now, they said, now this news is circulating that now it's going to start from the KGs to the primary. they're going to emphasize that they should learn Mandarin, Chinese language. And I'm asking you this. Yeah, they say Mandarin is, important in today's society. But let me tell you this. The reason why the Chinese, I mean, no shit against the Chinese, but I'm telling you the gospel truth. The reason why the Chinese want you to learn Mandarin is, listen, it's not only you just learn their language only, but it's a tool to take over you, take over you, dominance. You see, now when you talk about power, the Western world power is dying. Like the UK, Spain, Portugal, America, it doesn't exist no more. But the next superpower and the next phase of superpower is China now. Now China has a way. That's why Chinese are smart. Look at technology. Even though Indians are good at IT, trust me, look at Chinese. Now Chinese are smart. And in our generation, it is not fully that the Chinese have taken over. We to reach a time in the next generation that if Africans don't step on their feet, Africa is doomed. China will take over, dominate. And they said America is superpower. Very soon, America's name is going to die off. China is the next phase. China is going to take over. That's why Africa, we have to remember who we are. Our language, our God-given ability, we should make it into good use. Listen, the African continent is blessed with many talents. What does the Chinese have? What does the other foreign nation have that you as an African, your God have not given you? You have the necessary tools, you have resources, you have whatever it takes to make Africa a better continent. But because the mind is not being renewed, as the scripture said, be transformed in the renewing of the mind. Because our mind have not been renewed, we still have this mind of a slave. Even though we said we are freed people. We are freed, by this. We are freed like that. Physically, you are free. But here, you are locked up. You are mentally enslaved. We have to embrace our culture. We have to embrace our language. We have to embrace who we are. We have to love ourselves. We have to love our African self. We have to embrace who we are. Like when it comes to these name issues, even though my channel, most of my name is English and the middle name is African, you have to understand this, that I want to be real with you. Our indigenous name is important. But at the same time, so let me tell you this. We are in a world that some names have become part of us. But even though that name has become part of us, it takes time for us to fully, break that ties with that name. So it is more of, time. But I'll tell you this. Even though I use the name Reggie Kwabena Deschamps Mills here, it is a name that I've always, identified with. At the same time too, I love the name Kwabena so much. So if people who are close to me always, when I'm introducing myself, I always mention Kwabena. Okay, but at the same time too, yes, I'm not saying that we should not love our indigenous language, our indigenous language names. Our names are beautiful. So yes, it's very important that we should love our name. Like for me, I would love to go with my native name. I would love to be called, Kwabena. I would love to be called Kwabena Redu Abebiu. I would love to be called Kwabena Redu Abebiu Okatechie. I would love to be called that. So if you want to call me Kwabena Redu Okatechie Abebiu. Abebiu means the one who have returned, and that is me. I've returned to my African self. So that's why I choose the name Abebiu. But you can call me that as well. You can also call me Kwabena. Yes, you can call me Kwabena. As I said, you can call me Kwabena Redu Abebiu Okatechie. That's all up to you. You can still call me Reggie Kwabena Deschamps. It's all acceptable. But listen, apart from the name, one thing that's really important is embracing who you are, your culture. Yes, you can have an African sounding name, but mentally, intellectually, and everything you do, if it's not African, then your African name that you bear is meaningless. If you have an African sounding name, pure native name, and the way you present yourself, in your dressing, the way you speak, the food you eat, if it doesn't show your Africanness, then your Africanness is being questioned. As we talk about languages too, our local food, our indigenous food, a Ghanaian wants to eat shawarma, wants to eat foreign food. A Ghanaian, some Ghanaians will waste their money on pizza, but they will never ever go to the store to go and buy menkeni and make menkeni fufu or menkeni to or bayere to or bodieto or many our indigenous food. Like a Nigerian will not give that same energy, will not spend money in a store buying abacha, eba, semo, and all this our indigenous thing to come and make food to eat. If Riwo or whatever they call it, the Igbo people, how do you pronounce? Is it Ifo Riwo or whatever you guys call it? Igbo person will not come and buy that ingredient and come home to make it, but we spend money on pizza, French fries, and all unhealthy food. Listen, that's why Africans sometimes the death rates, it is due to unhealthy food. When you eat junk food, it affects your health. Why can't we eat our ancestral indigenous food, our cultural food? What happened to the fufu? What happened to the aprapransa? What happened to the akanchie? What happened to our indigenous food? What happened to akwantifo adriane? What happened to our indigenous food? What happened to, kwekpele? What happened to, our indigenous food? Africans, we need to wake up. What happened to we Leoneans? What happened to our rice and cassava leaf stew? What happened to our indigenous African food? What happened to the moi moi? What happened to, what makes us unique? And it's amazing that if you do your research about our brothers and sisters in Brazil, most of them love our nice indigenous meal, which is known as akara, cake beans. In Ghana, we call it kose. In Brazil, it's a big thing over there. In Brazil, they have this kose or akara, and they put pepper in there and eggs and everything, and they make it very nutritious. And the black Afro-Brazilians are buying it and making it a national dish in Brazil. Africans, where do we go wrong? A Ghanaian, Ganyo, and I say Fantinimba, ondi dokonon. Ganyo bi, ike eye komi. Afo buyegam mamli, oye komi. Like, we need to wake up as a people. And the thing is, when you go to the Western world, the African diaspora, Western Hemisphere, if you go to Jamaica, our people who were brought during the captivity by the Europeans, we have most of our people still holding on to our indigenous food. In Jamaica, they have something called dakana, and dakana is a simply anglicized word of dokono. And in Jamaica, they make it with potato. Omudi dokono no, omudi if anything potato no, omudi ye dokono. Ewo Jamaica ho. Wasan so ohwe Barbados ne Bahamas ne de keka ho. Cause omudi na omasi for ye Ghana for akanfo and cranfo ne yi anwafo omasi free ho. And if you look at other places like, sorry that some people, yes, I speak my language, I have to blend it a little bit. Listen, sometimes I have to not feel bad about myself. I'm a pure African boy, so sometimes I have to speak my esemeka akan kasa. Minna kasa kasa o de mama no. Minna kasa o de woman. Eye akan ebibria kasa, eye twi kasa no. Aye akani for kasa. Akani for kasa, eye twi kasa akan kasa na esemeka mekasa. Make kasa. Have to assess me come krum kasa, akan kasa, twi ebibri mu kasa. Africans, wake up. we have to love ourselves. An African will love foreign clothes. But ask how many Africans who have kente in home, Ankara and all those our native clothes. Like you see how I'm wearing this Yoruba indigenous clothes, Agbada or whatever they call it. These Yoruba clothes. How many Yoruba Peking have this type of clothes at home? African players, African parents, please, sometimes we can blame the children too. They say teach the child the way he should go. And this has to do with truth. If you teach the child the truth, they will never depart from it. You don't teach them their culture. You don't teach them who they are. But soon I'm going to end my video here. At the same time too, I'm going to emphasizing on knowing the Creator. Bro, I like family, I keep saying this. Listen, in this world, we are not strangers in this world. It's not out of the blue, this world just came to existence. I'm telling you, listen, if you don't believe in anything in this world, please hear my advice. Question stuff. Question stuff. Like, make discovery. Have that desire. That's passion and zeal that you want to know who the Creator is. Because let me tell you this. If you diligently seek the Most High, you'll never be disappointed. In my personal life, I can testify of many things that have happened in my life. So my brothers and sisters, we can achieve whatever we want to achieve in this life. But if whatever we achieve, yes, it's good that whatever we achieve comes from our knowledge and our hard work. But if it doesn't have a foundation, and the foundation is the Most High, if you don't have a foundation to build on, then my brothers and sisters, we need to question ourselves. Know the Creator for yourself. Listen, your family member or, if your loved one cannot worship God for you, you have to know God for yourself. It's the hardest truth. The reason why people put a religious figure on a pedestal is they are so delusional. They have holy books in their home. They don't even open. Ask an African Christian, when was the last time you even opened the Bible to read? Ask an African Christian that question. But an African Christian believe whatever a pastor tells them. Once they can, listen, I'll tell you this. You having a pastor is okay. That's on you. But at the same time too, I'm not saying disrespect authority. At the same time too, if you are a discipler, what does a disciple do? Any disciple who's not delusional and this thing is working, studies from himself. You can never be a disciple and not be, a learner. You can't say you are following Yeshua, whilst you cannot even, you don't know your left and right. Oh, sorry, I'll say Nyamidi. But Nyamina Ojini Dino, Warakasa, Udi Nyamichin Krano. They don't waste your mouth. Like, be realistic. You are following God. What have you learned out of this? That's why the holy book, listen, I'll tell you this, you don't need anything. There's holy books all over the place. If you don't have one, purchase one, put it in your home and read. Listen, some of you are allergic to reading. Listen, they always say this, and sometimes I believe it's the truth. They say if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. And it's true. Apart from even our belief system, let's just come to reality. Even history books. How many Africans will waste money to buy a history book or buy books that will sharpen their mind or make their brain be active? An African will waste money on it, like unnecessary things. But an African person cannot spend money on books that will make, help them. But an African will waste his energy on things good for nothing. Look at Oyibo, look at Chinese. Look at Oyibo, Muzungu, Bakra, Obroni, Yevu, Atenasini, Muzungu, a white person. Oh, you know what? Atenasini will waste his energy on books, will buy books will buy things that is beneficial for their growth. That's why, listen, sorry about the sound. This is why foreigners or Muzungu, Bakra or Bruni move forward in life. Because listen, they spend their resources on things important. Listen, you can, I'm friends, I have a lot of Muzungu friends here. But trust me, some of them have been to their houses. But if you go to their houses, some of them, if you go to their houses and they show you, they have a whole library in their house. How many Africans have a library in their house? But when you talk about unnecessary things, Bibining, an African, Dudu, Ameyibo, Ameyibo, a black person, doesn't have things that will make him, wise, but foolish things you have in his house. And excuse my language, Nkwasiyama peno, or baby obihunu bia openo. I just say a friend is saying, I just obana chen nyansa, or baby obihunu bia openo. Internet says so hunyame ma suru nyame. Ewie mrene wo suru nyame. Bibini ma wadwinda ho. A black person, an African person, that this thing work when a time that we don't have much time on our side. Let us do what the Most High have called us to do. At the same time, too, let us wake up to reality and embrace our identity. I love you. That's why I do these videos. I'm chosen for time like this to tell you gospel truth, but it's only up to you to accept the truth. Whether you want to perish, that's up to you. Whether you want to come to reality, the choice is yours. One thing I can never do for my fellow African is force you to do something that you don't want to do. So the choices are yours. So throughout this week, from Sunday to Wednesday, I'm going to do videos. So this is I'm going to drop single video. So one video for today, one video for Monday, one video for Tuesday, one video for Wednesday. Wednesday I end my weekly video, and then Friday a new video. So this is called self-awareness video. So today topic is the importance of our African native indigenous language. Monday, which is tomorrow, I'm going to do a video about, are we truly self-governed, and can Africans be on their own without Western interference in our business? That's Monday video. Tuesday video, can Africans be superpower? Why are we not bold about it? And what is holding us back? We should take our rightful place. That is Tuesday video. And Wednesday video, I'm going to talk about China's supremacy in Africa and how Chinese is oppressing us, and how Africans can silence Chinese supremacy power, and also the importance of United African Alliance and trading among Africans, fellow nations. So you're welcome to my channel. With all due of respect, subscribe to this channel, and I'm out. One love. One people, one vision, one destiny. Africans, unite now. African unity is a priority. Unite now. Unite or we perish. Together, two heads is better than one. With a united Africa, we conquer the world. It's a one love. Never me, never me. One love.